Free. Cool. What is up? What the hell? I did you and I did you separately, and now I have you together.
Yep.
This is so great.
We formed the Black Keys Voltron specifically for this. This is the only album press we're doing.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that. Yeah. Did you see the shirt? Righteous Gemstones. Do you remember this from season 3?
Absolutely.
How the hell was that? That was incredible. I'm watching it. I recognize you, but I'm like, wait a second. No, I could be wrong. Whatever. Didn't Google it. Get to your episode. It's you talking to Teen Jess. What the hell? Whose idea was that?
Not my idea. I don't know who wrote it, but it was crazy. There were a lot of people in the scene, and it was all had to play out. And then there was like 50 people when they yelled action, had to move, and then I had to hit the line right. Yeah. And the first time I did it, I totally biffed it, and but I got it the next couple times.
Dan, it was so funny seeing your face. You were like, he's a Roman soldier. Stop.
That helmet was so heavy.
Dude,
it was like 50 pounds on my head all day.
It was
1,000 degrees in Charleston.
You were both soldiers. How was Bradley Cooper?
Well, yeah, my scene was with Bradley Cooper, which I didn't know until I got there. And then, they kept just taking lines away from me. And they just kept screwing the scene up. Like, Danny's like, well, why don't you just say okay? That would be good.
You made a hell of a Civil War soldier.
They spent like 3 hours getting like the sideburns on.
That's why at first I didn't realize it was you. I'm like, wait a second.
Well, I look like hell in that, yeah.
Well, hey man, it was a Civil War,
Yeah.
All right. Record hangs. And I know you guys did the after party for Righteous Gemstones.
Mm-hmm.
Was that during like the Kelvin and Keith wedding scene? Was it like afterwards? Because that was already set up for a party.
No, it was like we did it. I think Dan shot his scene, and then the next day they wrapped it, and then that night we DJ'd the party they had in Charleston at this venue on the beach called the Windjammer.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was cool. Like all the extras, all the crew were there. It was hundreds of people.
Walter Goggins as Teen Jess. Ridiculous. Okay, so you're doing these record hangs. Rave reviews. Gandhi gave it 5 stars.
Yeah.
A masterclass in controlled chaos. Jordan Belford, the Wolf of Wall Street, says, a spiritual journey disguised as a house party. I saw God in a disco ball. Talk to me about these record hangs, because you guys have been doing them for like a couple years now.
Yeah, I think the idea was just Dan looking for something to do after we had done a concert, because, the options are slim. It's like go sit on the bus, hang out in the venue, or like, try to like find a bar or something. So Dan started bringing his 45s on the road, like in 2022, and occasionally would spin some records after show. And then it just kind of, from there, Dan asked me if I'd bring some, and then we were, we went to like England to do some recording with our friend Leon Michaels, and so then, we just realized like the formula was like the two of us spinning with a friend.
Did you have to teach yourself like DJ equipment and stuff? Yo, was that a pain in the ass? Well, it's not like you're a wizard with,
I mean, no, we kind of knew it was, but we're not trying to like, beat match.
Be Diplo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just not capable of figuring that out yet. But, the idea is just to kind of play music that gets people dancing, which is, and not dance music necessarily, not EDM, which is, it's kind of weird that it's so hard to, that as a pastime is not like, more common.
Yeah.
And it should be. So, the hardest part about the record hang thing is when we do them to keep it from being populated by fans that just stand there, and we call them foamers. They're just like foam at the mouth, don't dance, and that's like it's harder than you would think, because it's like it's all about like, do we have to charge a ticket? Do we have to charge for this? Do we make a guest list? Do we make people sign up for it? And it's kind of like if we just announce it last minute, and then you kind of have a better shot of like keeping the fans from standing right in front of the stage staring.
Foamers. Yo, but like everything, I feel like these record hangs inspired at least the songs that I've heard. This is like a really like free-spirited Black Keys thing that's happening. Dance. I'm like moving my body to the music. Did the record hangs kind of inspire like, yo, you know what? I'm in this frame of mind. Let's just go with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it, it also sparked this like healthy competition where we were trying to like find the hot record.
Yeah.
And like every record hang we would try to, bust out something new, something no one's heard before. And, being able to like play these songs too in front of a crowd and see how they react is like the ultimate test. You instantly know if it's working or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really kind of eye-opening. Some of these records that we thought maybe would be hot and they kind of fell flat.
Yeah.
Or ones that work so good. And then, we've been doing it so much together that we start dissecting these songs, and then we get in the studio and we start thinking about it in terms of that, and it's like it's definitely affected the music we've been making.
That's so cool. That really, really that's how you kind of drew inspiration. Everything that I've heard, obviously, and then what I've watched on like the videos. By the way, who's your videographer for these like hangs?
We've had a couple people, and they're all great. Yeah,
they're killing it. So yeah, free spirited. I feel like it's very inviting Black Keys. Like you're not playing at us, you're playing like for us. Everybody's dancing, everybody's moving. The night before, Baby Girl, yo, piano, what?
Mm-hmm.
Who's doing that?
Well, the very first song. Well, I guess I should go back for this album. Like in the last album, we were really like it was all about collaborating, and we started with other, I guess, essentially songwriters, singers, rock star guys. It was like Noel Gallagher and Beck, and we just did a ton of work specifically with those two guys, writing songs with them. And then for this album, we were like, well, maybe we should, instead of work with other like singers, work with other songwriters. And so the first person that was suggested to work with was this guy Rick Knowles, who's written a ton of big songs, but specifically worked with Lana Del Rey on a bunch of her stuff, including an album that Dan produced, Ultraviolence.
Yeah.
And so Dan was like, we should reach out to Rick. And so we did, and it just so happened that he was coming to Nashville like the following week for the first time.
First time ever.
Weird.
As a lifelong songwriter, it was his first time he'd ever booked a trip to Nashville.
Weird.
Yeah.
Weird timing.
It was just meant to be.
Yeah.
And we got together with him in the studio and instantly hit it off. And within the first hour, we had a song.
And he writes specifically mostly on piano. So that was the first time we'd
never done that forever.
In a room writing.
20 years of playing music together, we've never really written a song with a piano player.
What was it that were you like, maybe old mindset would be like, oh, what? But were you in a more fresh, like, you're like, dude, okay, fine, let's roll with it. This sounds dope.
No, I mean, I think,
we invite people that we really admire.
Yeah.
And we kind of, when they come into the studio with us, we're putting them through our filter, basically. So it's fun. It's fun as hell for us to do that.
Yeah, and so with Rick, pulling chords out, because actually that like the first song we wrote was the title track. One of the first songs we wrote was the title track, "No Rain, No Flowers," and that song. It started with a melody, and it was like getting to see like how Rick's process of, like you're going through like music school essentially, because Rick's deal was like he was interested in song titles, so he asked us to write come up with some ideas for some potential song titles, and one of them was "No Rain, No Flowers" that Dan had, and so he just was like asking Dan to like how would you sing that? So just
without any music,
nothing,
no piano. How would you just sing that in space?
Did you just stare at him, or did you eventually do it?
No, I just kind of went. I sang "No Rain, No Flowers," and he just said, "Okay, stop," and he just starts finding the notes, figuring out what key I naturally went to. And then he starts building the song, just right in front of us, and we were just flowing, and that's how it went.
And so, but to hear someone like, to write on some, when he's like a great piano player, he's able to voice chords in a way that would be nearly impossible in a standard tuning on guitar, especially. And yeah, then like when we decided, when we went back in the studio a couple weeks later, we had talked about asking Scott Storch into the studio because we both been like watching him on YouTube and just like
since we were in high school.
Yeah, he's just,
watching videos of him.
Written some of the most iconic parts and also just such a character that it was like just like a long shot to like. But he was down. He flew up to Nashville, and "Baby Girl" was one of the songs we wrote with Scott. And
he came into the studio, and he's used to doing hip hop sessions where he plugs the keyboard in the control room and just flips through presets and stuff. And we had all the acoustic pianos and all of the organs and synthesizers and shit. He was going crazy.
Yeah.
So it felt
I don't
like
think he really
playground.
ever recorded with like live instruments sort of like that. Yeah. So when we're cutting piano, like you can hear him like grunting
That's dope.
into the
Yeah, yeah.
into the microphone. The kind of thing you don't hear when he's plugged in the control room.
Yeah, if you hear the very end of the "Baby Girl," that's the thing that sounds just like percussion is just his grunting.
And that's so Black Keys, though.
Yeah.
So raw, so gritty. All right, so you've also, too, with what I've heard, you still, guys, you're still maintaining the Black Keys, like, famous sound. It comes through. It's crazy. Do you ever go back to the old albums or really old songs just to kind of draw a little bit of inspiration? Did you do it for No Rain, No Flowers a little bit? Or do you not?
I mean, I think like
We go back to the well often.
Mm.
It is a source of inspiration and like re-energizing us.
yeah.
Remind
Like when we
yourself.
did Delta Cream, that was us going back to the well. And I think that we've kind of been on a tear ever since.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so you worked on it for about 3 months. Where were your heads at? Like, what was your frame of mind going into this album? Just like from the beginning, were you like, here we go again, or like, damn, okay, let's conquer this? Where was your head at? Honestly.
I mean, essentially, from the time we released Delta Cream,
Mm.
which is, like a blues, essentially tribute album to some guys that really inspired us.
Mm.
So from the moment that came out, which was, like April, May of 2021, we immediately went into the studio and we recorded what became Dropout Boogie. And then we just kept recording, and so then we toured and that next thing became Ohio Players. And when that was done and we were touring, we kept recording, and then that tour got canceled, and then we've just been recording
Nonstop.
So I think like Dan said, we've been on a tear. I think that each album we've made is like, it feels like actual documents that they cover like a specific period of this era we're in. But I think for this, it was like, the thing for this album was just like we just started writing, got a bunch of songs, ideas down. And then it was like at some point you flip the thing, like, okay, we have a ton of songs that now we have to finish them.
How many songs?
We finished, I think, 18 songs
Damn.
for this album, and we finished 19 for the last.
Are you going to keep all of them, or are you whittling it down for No Rain, No Flowers?
I mean, for our album, I think we're putting out 11, and we'll probably put out a few more. But I mean, this is, I think, like, since 2021, by the end of next year, we will have put out like 60 songs or something.
It's crazy. I think about it too. By the way, this is freaking album number 13, which is absolutely insane. Next year's 25th anniversary. You've released 4 albums in 5 years. I mean, you guys are like your workhorses. You have more albums than Foo Fighters, Pearl Jam, The Frogs.
The Frogs.
Yeah.
My daughter, what's their song?
That's your band, dude.
Yeah.
The freaking Frogs.
I like everything from Milwaukee. So.
You guys have a lot of albums. Crazy. Work ethic. When I think of the Black Keys, it's resilience. You're workhorses. Was there anybody like growing up? I don't know. Maybe it was a family member that taught you the work ethic, because a lot of bands, they get successful and they're just like, cool, all right. And then that's that.
I don't know. We've always had a strong work ethic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my mom.
The right amount of autism.
Yeah, the right around autism.
We're all on the spectrum.
Yeah. I mean, my mom taught me, I had to get a job when I was like 14.
Okay.
And then at that point she was like, you have to save half your money, then you can spend the other half. So eventually she basically taught me like you can't enjoy anything until you've worked your ass off.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Old world.
yeah, exactly.
You're lucky though.
Yeah.
That's so important. You're constantly working. What do you do when you're not working? What do you draw inspiration from? Crypto?
Well, I mean, when we're not working, I think that Dan and I are talking about working.
I see. Okay.
Or planning something, or he's working on
You're scheming on another job.
yeah
Damn.
something.
You never stop.
I mean, I feel like if you're 20 plus years into your
Mm.
band and you're still feeling like you got, like it's coming, this you're there's still something left to prove, or their music is still pulling you. You got to take advantage of that. Because like you said, like there aren't many bands that have lasted 20 some years, and then bands that have made albums, and then also made. I think the hard thing is like making an album that stands up once you get into that like 20 plus year. I think that gets rarer.
Your albums have aged so well. It's nuts. It's crazy. So, all right, we got album number 13, and then you guys have, you said maybe 11 tracks. What else? I mean, do you know? Walk me through, and I know that you've built your own equipment. Like, you're like a wizard with that kind of stuff. Is there anything, like, what's the most unconventional piece of equipment or technique that you used during the recording of this album?
We've actually been using a lot of Dan acquired a Universal Audio mixing desk from the early 60s, late 50s. It's like a tube desk called a 610, and they're very sought after. And it's the kind of thing where we've always been trying to sort of make something sound what we thought sounded like that, and then to actually be able to work on it is a whole different ballgame. But back in the day,
we're like, how can we make it sound shitty again?
Because back in the day, we'd plug something into like the 4-track, and then it'd be like, oh, it sounds like shit. And then if we turn it up all the way, oh, it sounds better. And then when we got like a digital recorder, we'd be like, plug it in, it sounds like shit. Then turn it up all the way, it sounds even worse. So then we're like, if we plug it into like a guitar distortion pedal first, that sounds more like a Wu-Tang kick
Which
drum.
Is dope.
Yeah, but with the new, I think that we're both very interested, and Dan's a huge collector of gear, and actually, I think gear is pretty inspirational if you're around the right stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
Is there any moment in the studio, any moment that you could think of that you both looked at each other, you're like, okay, this is absolute magic, where you just knew it was like perfect. That's how you wanted it to sound.
No, but in the movie of our career, that scene will take place.
I'm going to ask you a question about the movie of your career shortly. Yeah. I do have questions about that. Okay, either or. Crypto or Crisco?
I don't own or use either.
No Crisco?
Hell no.
Crisco or Cisco?
Like the thong song? Cisco, for sure.
Cisco or Genuine?
I'm taking Cisco on this. Just because thong songs, I think that is
not genuine.
Yeah, for sure. Would you drop some Genuine tonight for the record hang? Or is that like not on the set list? Think about it. Please.
What if we play like, I don't know. I'm still taking Cisco on that.
Well, okay, I'll take Cisco too. Ravi, I'm like, it's 11 o'clock at night. How do you do that so late? I'm in bed by 9:05. All right, this is my other question. You have 13 freaking albums to work with. Are there any songs that you feel like you never got to perform enough, and you're just like, what the hell? We never really did this one. Any like favorite song to perform of all time, or any song that you guys haven't gotten to play a lot that you're looking forward to maybe putting in the set for this tour?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of songs we've actually never performed other than the performance that's on the record. So yeah, it's a constant battle for us to, like, we've been talking about how we're gonna crack into the catalog and start busting stuff out, and then our lighting guy is like, okay, well, just give me an idea of what you're gonna play and in what order. And I was like, no, that's not. The idea is like we're gonna like maybe like just pull some stuff out randomly and think, okay, great, but just give me like more of a exact set list. I was like, no, bro, like
Every time he was like, yeah, but
because it has gotten to a few parts of like a tour where it's just like, this is how the show goes, the kabuki drop. And I'm like, dude, no, I've never seen a review where someone's like, the kabuki drop made the show. Everything was okay, but then the spotlight was so perfectly shined that
the kabuki drop. That would be a really good album title.
it would be.
No, we've got a bunch of songs that we're gonna pick through, some like fan favorites, some oldies. We're gonna start to like pull a couple songs in here and there during the sets. Switch it up too.
If we wanted to be really popular, we would bring fans on stage and let them perform. That seems to be the thing. And every time I see it, I'm like, this just sucks so much. You know, it's like,
Look, it could make or break a show.
I've never. I mean, like honestly, I've seen some people doing it. I would be not thrilled.
What if they like stepped on your like kit?
No, I mean like you're there to see like the song performed by the guy singing it, not by like some like 13-year-old that can barely play the guitar. Like
It's so annoying, isn't it? Can I just say I get annoyed by it?
no, it's annoying. I mean, I remember when when I was like 10, my dad and I were driving around and we listened to the Cleveland Indians game, and the shortstop at the time was like sucking, and I was like, I'm probably as good as Jay Bell, and my dad stopped the car. He's like, Jay Bell's a professional baseball player. He's like, there's no way you're as good as Jay Bell. You're a 10-year-old kid. And started driving, and I kind of feel like it's like the same thing with like bringing an 11-year-old up on. It's like, okay.
God bless your dad for shooting it straight.
Yeah.
He literally pulled over to tell you that.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Maybe we should get some kids on stage and just tell them.
Just
"We need
roast
more
them.
practice."
Like yeah. Like okay.
You have to practice.
Yeah, you have to practice.
That would be so funny. Just like have them play, then stop. Be like,
Stop.
hold on.
Okay, bro. We thought you could
Teaching moment.
Yeah, teaching moment.
We thought you could do it. You're really not good at it. That would be so Black Keys.
Because it's also like maybe they just are so well rehearsed that it's so boring too. Like we can make fun of them for that. But there's that Mr. Show sketch, the imminent death syndrome, where basically this guy,
This fan.
it's a fake disease where the person could die at any moment, and so like everyone's going out of their way to be nice to them, and then he keeps finding out that he doesn't actually have it, and everyone's like, you suck actually, jeez. And then like the callback, like, no, he actually does have it. I feel like every time I see like that fan up on stage doing that, it feels like there's a little imminent death syndrome.
All right. Listen, next year, 25th anniversary. You guys have been freaking through it. Looking back, is there any moment, like after all these years, where you learned something pivotal about your partnership? Like something about working together that sticks out to you that was just a major part of why you've stuck around so long?
I mean, I don't know how to answer that.
Come on, think. Was it a time where you did the kabuki drop like 7 tours ago?
I mean, I think, just having the same goals in mind, that alone, that's probably most important. Recognizing the same levels of bullshit and agreeing to never do that shit again and then doing it again and then saying we're never going to do it again and then keep doing it.
It's a bad relationship. This is what we
Well,
like abusive relationships.
These are external forces. We're just along for the ride. But at least we recognize it together.
Pivotal moment.
We're like, every time we go to this place, we never make any money. We shouldn't go there anymore. Yeah, we're done. Like, okay, you guys are going to be going there again.
Okay.
Okay. And it's always like, this is really going to be the time that you break through there. And we're like, it's been 20 years. Like,
this is it.
Okay, this is it. Like, we've been a band like twice as long as the Beatles, and we're still trying to like break open Sweden.
Wait, all right. We're going to play one more game before you go. It's called Guess the Song. So I'm going to read you lyrics. I'm going to see if you guys know what freaking Black Keys song it is, because you have a lot.
I don't know the lyrics to any song, including
Dan.
Louie Louie. So
All right. Dan, you're going to try here.
Oh boy.
All right.
Let's.
Just try.
Um,
Just try.
We're not feeling good. We caught something on the airplane.
Yeah, I think I've got a stomach bug.
Yeah.
Listen, I know it's probably tough. You have a lot of songs, but I won't read it.
How contagious is bird flu? Because we think we've both been exposed.
SARS.
Yeah. We've
SARS.
got SARS-3.
All right, ready? I'm going to read it to you, though, not like a song, so you got to figure it out. Okay. You know me. I had plans, but they just disappeared to the back of my mind.
That's the easy one.
Yeah.
We play that one every night.
Every single night.
What is it?
I don't know the lyrics to any Black Keys song. I'm just telling
You don't know that one?
I mean, is it?
Starts with acoustic guitar.
Yeah, Little Black Submarine.
Fuck
That's what I thought.
yes.
But I mean, I honestly, I don't know a single line from a Wu-Tang Clan song.
I'm the same way.
It's like I literally have it's a mental.
Well, I feel bad for Anthony Kiedis. He's got to have them written down in front of him on the floor when they perform. There's a lot of music. It's a lot of songs.
I barely know the words. I see my kids twinkle twinkle. I forget the words. I'm not even joking. I have some sort of thing.
1 point for Dan, then.
Well, I mean, like if
Well,
you
he
want
came
it.
up with it, actually.
All right, ready? Thought you changed, but I should have known. You'd play nice for a time and then do me wrong.
I don't remember.
It's probably because of the way I read it.
Yeah, you're definitely trying to throw us off.
I thought you changed, but I should have known. You'd play nice for a time, then do me wrong.
This sounds like a song we've never performed live.
Psychotic Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
never
there
played
you
it
go.
Whoa,
Yeah.
put it on the tour.
The only time we ever played that was when we recorded it.
Yeah.
Dude, what?
Yeah.
That's like,
That's one of those
a
ones
cult
that we get asked
favorite.
about all the time. Yeah, a song like that, the lengths,
yeah. Oh,
stuff like that.
okay. Well, then, since you're talking about that one, see the moonlight shining on your window pane. See it leave you as faithful as it came. The lengths. All right, you already got that one. Okay, ready? Here's another one. But if the night gets dark, all is still. I'll pray for you. You know I will. Throwing it back. This is an old one.
Yeah, we never played that one, did we?
Hard row.
Yeah, yeah. We used to play it.
Played it for and I also think Dan's dad might have written.
I was going to say, didn't your dad's on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he wrote that.
And we
some
only
of that.
we played it for the year of 2003.
You did. Yeah, that's when it came out. All right. You have a thing no one could ever be sure of. Never even had a pure love and never no cure from.
That's
Wait a lot.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
there you go.
All right, let's see. I got a couple
That's
more.
enough, right?
All right, one more.
We're just all that's gonna happen is you could get a viral moment where the band forgets
me a
their
viral
thing. I mean,
moment.
guess what? I just want to say, I think the Black Keys. It could be off, but I think we've released like 185 songs,
Nuts.
and then this guy also has like two solo albums, 2 Arcs albums, plus he's co-written like 20 other albums with other people. Like,
Your brain can only
it's
hold
like
so
500
much.
songs for this guy.
Nuts.
Yeah.
All right.
Like the real thing is to get Robert Pollard in here and throw this at him because that guy's got like 1,000 songs, and I bet you he could do it.
Remember all of
I
them,
think he'd
too.
remember all of them.
Spectrum stuff, man. All right,
Mm-hmm.
fine. one more. Sometimes the light's all shining on me. Other times I can barely see. Lately it occurs to me what a long, strange trip it's been.
Keep on trucking, Grateful Dead.
That was a hell of a song you guys wrote.
Yeah.
Had to throw that in there because I think that was one of your favorite concerts.
Yeah, when I was
Yeah.
a kid.
Yes.
I went to see the Grateful Dead with Jerry Garcia. My dad took me. I think I was like 15. Yeah,
GD, baby.
amazing.
All right, guys.
Yeah, it was at Richfield Coliseum.
where the Cavs used to play.
Nice.
Back when they had Brad Doherty and Mark Price.
Good memory because I think it was 1994. It would have been right a year before Homeboy kicked the
Yeah.
bucket.
Yeah,
Kick the
that's
bucket.
crazy.
Yeah.
And dude, when he died, he was only 52. Look at pictures of him.
I know.
Oh yeah.
He's only like 6 years older
Yes.
than you are
So
now.
crazy.
And 7 than me. So,
Yeah.
dude, he looks like your Uncle Ned does now.
yeah, at 80.
Yeah, 80 years old.
All right, brothers. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thanks
so
for
much.
having us. Thanks for putting us on the spot like that.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
Really cool. I want to play this game with you, but I want to like just read you texts from like 15 years ago.
Do it, please.
Who did you remember? Who'd you text this to? You're a piece of.
Yeah. Say it. Say it. All right, brothers. Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Thanks for having us.